Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 553. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Corey Feinsod.
Yo.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Yo.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers, to 553 of the Moviecast. Guys, we did a spoiler bonus round for Black Widow. It'll be up on YouTube. It'll be on Podbean. It'll be on iTunes. You guys can download it. I believe it's on also. What do we stream to? There's a couple other things. Spotify, I think our link is on too. So we're good there. So check it out and check this out. If if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like button. I'd like to kick us off with that first because I always forget in the beginning and I'm going to remember it today. Anyways, guys, 553. We have a box office to discuss. And for the next few weeks, for the next few months, guys, I will probably happily say that to you guys. I don't know why. It's back to some normalcy.
Yeah.
And I love it. And, we've had a conversation for a few podcasts. Once again, I apologize not being on last week's podcast, but I did listen to you guys talk about it.
And no Mike this week.
And no Mike. That's right. We had no Mike this week. Yeah. Last week, my power was just, it was a headache. I did not enjoy sleeping. The temperature was just so bad. So bad. But yeah, we had the conversation about Black Widow, what it would bring in. I said the max I saw was 85. And I got to say, end up being pretty right, but I was wrong. I did not see Disney Plus being the powerhouse that it actually was. We're going to get into that in just a second. So yeah, Black Widow brought in only 80 million in the box office, a pandemic recovery box office, which means it is the highest opening weekend for a movie anyways, since Rise of Skywalker. That's the last time anything is made anywhere near. Obviously, Rise of Skywalker did way better than this, but first time since 2019 December that we've had a number like this. Just crazy to think about.
Yes, Fast 9 did 70 and this did 80, right?
Yeah, so we're getting a little bit better recovery.
So it's growing. I was totally on board with the 100. I didn't think that it would have any problem reaching that.
I said the digital.
I didn't. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that caught me. I did not expect Disney to do. Disney Plus even 60 million.
No, I thought it was going to be under 10%. I was like,
again, those guys. Everybody listening here, if you don't know, Disney Plus brought in $60 million for Black Widow alone. They can track that because of the digital access, $30 a person, $60 million for a household. Because don't forget, that's per account, which means not everybody that's sitting there had to pay. $60 million. This is a new entertainment strategy now. I think it establishes itself, right? I mean, I think this solidifies Disney's strategy.
And you mentioned it on Discord, Tony. It's like that's all profit.
You cut the middleman. You cut the middleman right out. It is pure profit for Disney. And Corey, you happen to see some results in the stock market because of that. Disney's had a pretty good day on Monday.
It was like over 4% it went up on the Monday after the Black Widow opened. So
yeah, but I mean 80 million is still impressive, but when you put them together, 140 million weekend is excellent. Oh my god.
And excellent. 230 or something like that worldwide?
It's up to 230 world globally. And I mean I thought it was going to do well digitally. Like I really did, because I knew that there were still people that wants to see this, but they're more, concerned about the virus still. Sure. Yeah, reserved. Yeah. So I knew that was going to beat it, but nobody could have fathomed 60 million. Nobody. There's not a chance anybody could have predicted that. I don't care who you are. You didn't predict that.
Yeah. No. That's what totally threw off. I was like, I could definitely reach 100, and it was doing well. I think Saturday people were like, oh yeah, it's probably 90. Even possibility of 100 depending on Sunday. But then it's like 80, and I was like, oh damn. And then the Disney Plus numbers came out. I was like, well shit, no wonder why.
Yeah, they didn't expect to cut in like that much. I expected it to be like 20. I thought it'd be like 25 million. I really thought they were.
I thought something low, like that.
But that would put the total in my mind when I was doing that. I was thinking 110 total, because that would be 85 and 25 is what I was thinking. Yeah. And I thought that would be a very good weekend. But
that still would have been a great weekend.
Yeah, 140 is just nuts. And again, guys, we did a spoiler cast on this, so if you have watched it or even want to hear it, just go listen to the spoiler cast to talk our in-depth moments. But it's a good movie, and I even said to these guys as we started rolling this podcast, this one, I was like, after talking about it, I'm like, I feel like I was harsh I give it a 7. I could see it being a 7.5. The more you talk about it, the more you realize it was a quite enjoyable experience, at least. Not only that, but you're back in the theaters, and it's fun. It's fun to be back. I mean, they got me for my $13 for 2 sodas. And I was never happier to pay. I don't know what it was. The guy gave me the total $13.82, and I'm like, that can't be. Oh, it is right. That's I'm back. Yeah. So I'm thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like $10. He's like $13.82. I'm like, did you charge me for something different? And he's like, that's your 2 drinks. I'm like, oh my, that's right. Concession prices. So,
but that's with the discount, right, Jim?
That's with my
upgrade.
Yeah, that's with my upgrade. So, gosh, yeah, it was yeah. The tickets were great. I mean, I spent less money going to see this movie than I would have on Disney Premier Access. I only spent $20 because I basically they never got rid of. Give AMC some credit. AMC never removed my rewards or my Premier Access. They left it on, and so like when I went to log in, I had $20 in rewards waiting to be used. So I was like, oh, okay, here we go. So I used my rewards up, and yeah, it was like I said, guys, it was an impressive box office, but a more impressive overall office for Black Widow. Yep. And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. Tony, what did you think of it? Just to give everybody, no spoilers, obviously, just quick.
Yeah, it was good. I would probably give it 7.5.
Yeah, I think I'm there now. Just more to talk about it. 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5. In the best moments, it reminded me of the best parts, or some of the best parts of Winter Soldier, which is my favorite Marvel movie. And it gave us more characterization to one of the Avengers that I guess has had the least, aside from Bruce Banner. So that was good. Hawkeye. Hawkeye got a little bit in Ultron. And even Civil War with.
Sure. But yeah, no, I'm there too. I'm right at the cusp of an 8. I would say it's the biggest issues I have with it are just the prequel tropes that we fall into and being tied down to specific events happening that we know and can predict. So it's not as enjoyable knowing certain things. But with that said, like, it's still a great movie on its own. Like, just look at it by itself. The characters are great. I love the family dynamic and like you were saying, just the heartfelt moments and character moments in this movie. And so getting a badass on-screen female superhero, we haven't seen that from Marvel, like a solo film. Like we saw that with Wonder Woman, obviously, but Marvel hasn't done it yet. So it's pretty cool.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, sure. I can't believe I forgot about.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand this is the first Avenger, so like you want to just you didn't get her solo film, which should have been done beforehand, but
But like getting more of them is great. Like,
and I will say, guys, David Harbour's excellent, so I will say that. But yeah,
he's great. He's great in this, and there's a little controversy with some stuff that goes on, but I just think that, and I forgot to mention, I did want to mention like that. I understand if you are a fan of a character and they change that character, that you could be upset. I could understand that, because when you do get a character right and you honor the character's little, nuances from the comic into the films, that people love that. And when you do change it, I feel for those people, but at the same time, there's some characters that just don't. It doesn't matter, and so just take that stick out of your ass and move on.
All right.
That's it,
guys. We have this is going to be just for those. This is a Disney Plus or Marvel podcast. Mm-hmm. Really, it is. I mean, everything I got here is Marvel related and fun stuff, though. I mean, the next bit of news we have here is I think we're going to talk about. Well, we talked about the Premier Access, but we'll talk about WandaVision. We basically had Olsen. It's Elizabeth, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen. Saying that if you're going to see Doctor Strange 2, WandaVision is an absolute must-watch because it is a good prequel to Doctor Strange 2, and it's something that makes the movie make way more sense because it's dealing with a multiverse of madness, and when you get the strangeness that is WandaVision, and you watch that whole thing through the end, you kind of are ready for what Doctor Strange is about to throw at you. So if you haven't checked out WandaVision on Disney Plus yet, check it out if you're going to go see Doctor Strange 2, because it should enhance your experience at the least. So
what I'm very curious about with this is, now we have multiverses, but that's different than timelines? And
I think it's the same. I think it's the same.
We'll see. I'm curious to see what that's all about. So
we'll find out we'll find out tomorrow.
Because
maybe
the variants in Loki are quite variant, and So like that tells me like that's multiverse right there, not necessarily branching timelines, but you want to call it like I think it's
I think that's the idea.
point.
The timekeepers, I think, are more about the multiverse keepers. They're trying to keep all one universe, and destroy the other ones. I think that's the plot, but we'll find out. That's a guess, guys. I don't know that. So, all right. Let's see. Oh, Marvel is. I thought this was bad news at first when I read this. Marvel is changing the way they do their contracts with their stars to now just no longer tie people in for 9 movies. Instead, they're going to be doing like 1 movie at a time for stars. And then the more you break that down, the better it is, because there's stars that just won't even do it, knowing they have to do 9 movies. And then
huge commitment.
Yeah, it's a huge commitment. And who knows? Maybe they'll love to do it and want to do 9 movies, but you don't sign before you do that. You know what I mean? Like, I think this opens the door to bring Chris Evans back. Absolutely, I think it does. Because I think his biggest gripe was the contracts involved in the length. But the other idea you have is, I was reading in this same article here, like, it's a cool idea to think about, like, if you know an actor is only on for 1 movie, maybe you don't really know what could happen to that character. Like, you know the ones that are coming back for other movies because they're signed, but now you don't. So it's like, could they die? Also, could they just show up as suddenly in a movie? Like, you don't even know they're there. The surprise factor could be incredible with this new idea from them.
Right. So, I mean, we're all meta gaming this whole thing, and we know, like, oh, this guy signed on for that. Like I mentioned, like the Hawkeye show, we know some actors are in this Hawkeye show, and I'm like, now we know.
That's what I mean. But was it 23 movies for Samuel L. Jackson? Is that what his contract was? 23 appearances?
Stupid like that, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll never get that again, and because we knew it, like, oh, he's gonna be in this. He's not dead because he's gonna be in the next movie. But you don't have that now. It's one movie at a time, or show. This could be 1 contract at a time. He said, theme park rides included, theme park appearances, and it's a good policy. I think it's the right move to do, especially with how big the universe is now and so many stories to tell. If you lose Chris Evans, for instance, as Captain America, you could tell Bucky's story. You could tell the Falcon Captain America, or you can even just bring another character out of the vault and start talking about a new character. You know what I mean? Like, it gives you more of a cyclability, I guess. Is that the word I'm thinking of? I don't know. It's like you can bring more in, circle in more people. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Flexibility.
Flexibility is the word.
Flexibility. Yeah. That's it. That's the word I'm thinking of. And then speaking of characters that we have could be cycling in, or flexibility and whatever it is, cycling in, we get this nice trailer from Deadpool watching Free Guy, which is the movie coming out for Ryan Reynolds. And I thought it was a quite funny little trailer of, them watching the trailer. But it is funny because it is Deadpool's first integration into the MCU. It is, right? I mean, he's with Korg.
First crossover, because we got a character from the MCU movies with Deadpool the character, and so it's the first crossover between them. And this probably is happening because both of those actors are in this Free Guy movie / director.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's like, it does give Disney that, here it is, like, we are going to bring him into the fold.
And he's still taking digs at himself. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I really wish Mike was on here for this podcast, because I remember specifically when the Disney getting, finally, after all these years, the Fox X-Men and Fantastic Four rights, he's like, you're never going to get Deadpool in the MCU. And they're like, yeah, probably.
First. It seems like he might be the first.
Yeah, because, I mean, before the mutants, Deadpool, I think Deadpool 3 is already in pre-production.
I believe it's in production.
Well,
it's definitely in pre-production. It's definitely in pre-production. There's a script being written.
Yeah.
There was a meeting about it already with Feige. It's already happening. It's just a matter of, so it is further along than the X-Men.
I love that they call it out though in this. He's like calling out himself, being like, why is this guy doing this and not focusing on the Deadpool movie? It's pretty funny. Canadian Cumberbatch.
I actually really enjoyed that. It was like 4.5 minutes. It's worth the watch on YouTube, guys, if you haven't seen it yet. It was, and Korg is just hilarious. He's like, really, this is the guy, really? Deadpool the whole time. He's like, this is the guy I get. This is the guy I get.
I guess you could technically say that Evan Peters was in Wandavision before, but not really. I mean, as Quicksilver. Obviously, that was fake.
Yeah, clearly. So, Yeah, I don't know. I think it's exciting futures coming up, and I just can't wait till we get either Deadpool or some cameo from superhero or something.
Oh, well,
some
we
X-Men.
forgot to mention it last week, Jim, with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I heard you didn't mention the news I love to talk about. Hugh Jackman.
We waited for you.
Thank you. Hugh Jackman on his Instagram posts a picture with him and Feige, and then shortly after that, a nice artwork piece of Wolverine's claws. Whatever it means. Do I want him as Wolverine? Listen, I don't hate him as Wolverine. I don't. But I do.
Great Wolverine.
Yeah, as we said, we're ready for a shorter Wolverine. I mean, really, that's really what I'm ready for here. You can't call somebody a runt who's way bigger than you. Yeah. I mean, and he's just huge. He's a big dude. When he gets into Wolverine shape, he's a big effing dude. And he's great. He's great as Wolverine, though. Don't get me wrong. Like if they brought him back, I would not be super upset about it. But I would like them to explore a new Wolverine. That's all. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where I'm going to be okay with it, but I really
right because you figure the next Wolverine that's going to be cast has to be, good to go for at least 10 years, right? At least 3 X-Men entries, if not more cameo appearances in Avengers or Avengers versus X-Men, something like that. Because
you don't bring Wolverine in the Twilight. You don't bring Wolverine in the Twilight. Yes, I got you. Absolutely.
And like nothing against Hugh Jackman. He's in great shape for his age. Absolutely. Yeah. But like, come on, man. Like, you had your time. You had a great run. You had 20 years of this character. Just
wow, it was 20 years. Yeah,
20 years.
Crazy. Yeah. I
don't really want to see a 60-year-old Wolverine.
No, and I thought Logan was a great finale for him.
Yeah, just end on a good note, man. You're not going to get a better send-off for Wolverine.
I mean, hopefully this was more of just like, get ready for Wolverine. It's not me, but just get ready. Like
maybe it's the passing of the claws.
There you go.
So we'll see. We'll see about that. But and then who posted this one? This is Tony. Deadline's reporting this. A director now has been found for my beloved franchise film Star Trek. Matt Shakman from WandaVision, who just got nominated for a lot of Emmys, right?
23 for WandaVision.
Yeah, I mean,
24 for Mandalorian. Just saying,
Disney Plus is killing.
Disney Plus. Those 2 shows. Ridiculous.
I mean, wow. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm trying to see while we're doing this because I saw the news come in afterwards. I wasn't able to read it, but it is with J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot. So are we still in that universe? I wonder. Do we still get Chris Pine?
Apparently, Chris Hemsworth's going to be in it.
He was. He was in that.
Yeah.
He was his dad in the first movie. Yeah. So this is going to be a.
Well, that was the rumor before, wasn't it? That he was coming back for the 4th one.
Yeah, so this might be good. I mean, I actually like Zachary Quinto as Spock, and Bones is Carl. Who is
Carl Urban?
Bones? Carl Urban. Thank you. I think they're all really well cast, and I feel like what failed them was the script, really, in the last movie, and I feel like that was the biggest problem. I really think they have a great cast to make another great movie. They just need a right script and a right director. And I think this person, Matt Shakman, has proven, Shakman, whatever you want to say, has proven that he is able to handle a pretty big load of pressure. So, I'm excited for it. Definitely excited for it. So, and it's going to be fast tracked, or as they say, warp speed. Warp speed and begin production next spring. So it's going to be happening. Yep. So it'll be cool. But that's pretty cool. Paramount brought him in on the fold. So, and that's pretty much it for news, guys. Like I said, big thing was Black Widow this week. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's definitely worth watching. If not, watch it at home like everybody else has been doing. So you have 2 options, theater or at home, and both of them are worth the admission. So at least with the one at home, you can rewatch it as much as you want once you pay the $30. So it's a good thing. But anyways, any questions or comments, write us allycangeek@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at allycangeek. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching this once again on YouTube, please hit that subscribe and the like button. We appreciate it, guys. We are out. See ya.